Hey everybody, welcome to Crack Pack Tuesday number 192 on the Mana Leek. I'm John as always, and we've got another pack of War of the Spark. For those of you who might happen to be new, we do Crack Pack Tuesdays every week. We don't just open the pack and say, hey, look at what I got. This is actually a discussion of draft strategy, what we would take pack one, pick one if this was a draft. Now each of these Crack Packs is sponsored. Every single patron at the $5 level and above gets entered each week to get all of the contents of the pack, or none of the contents, some of the contents, whatever they happen to want. Not every pack is actually worth sending out, but this week it's going to Tom Perks. So we're going to crack this pack open, see what's in it, and see what we would take pack one, pick one if this was a draft. That's the ad card. There we go. Up first, we have On-Crop Crasher. On-Crop Crasher is 2 and a red for a creature zombie Minotaur Warrior. It's a 2/2. As long as it's your turn, it's got first strike, and you can pay 1 generic mana, sack a creature, and it gets +2/+0 until end of turn. This card's solid. It's very, very hard to block if your opponent has anything that they could sack. It's, I believe, just flat out the cheapest sack outlet in the entire format. It's a totally solid card. I'm never, ever, ever looking to first pick this card, but I'd play it in probably every red deck and in red-black sack. It's pretty darn good. Up next is Bulwark Giant. Bulwark Giant is 5 and a white for a creature giant soldier. At common, she's a 3/6, and when she ETBs, you gain 5 life. No real interest. White is not, unfortunately, all that good in the format, and it's because of a lot of cards like this. It's really expensive. It's really unimpactful. Gaining 5 life just isn't that much. It's kind of like a fog almost. This card just doesn't do enough. I never want to pick it. I never want to play it. Up next is Crush Descent. Crush Descent is 3 and a blue for an instant counter target spell unless its controller pays 2 generic mana, amass 2. Not good, unfortunately. No Escape is great because, of course, it's unconditional counter spells. Counter spells where your opponent can stop the counter if they pay 2 typically aren't very good. 3 is great, like Mana Leek, for example. But 2, not good enough, and not for 4 mana, unfortunately. You typically want these spells to be very cheap, like Mana Leek being 2 mana. Amass 2 is cute, but it's just not good enough. The fact that with Crush Descent, you can't just cast this whenever you want to get the Amass 2. There has to be a spell that you're attempting to counter at least. So not a fan of Crush Descent. I never, ever, ever, ever want this in my deck. We're never picking it either. Up next is Invading Mantico. Invading Mantico is 5 and a red for a 4/5. When it ETBs, you amass 2. This is kind of just big, dumb creature. Kind of like Bulwark Giant, but better because it's 4 power and it gives you a 2/2 as opposed to just having a 3/6. This is a fine card, and I'll play it if I have a spot in a red deck, but it's not a card that you're actually going out of your way to pick. You should be able to get this well into the middle of the pack, if not late, so we're not taking it here. Up next is Kaya's Ghost Form. Kaya's Ghost Form is a single black mana for an enchantment aura, I believe the only aura in the set. Enchant creature or planeswalker you control. When enchanted creature or when enchanted permanent rather dies, you get to return it from or is put into exile. Return that card to the battlefield under your control. No real interest. This has the same problem where if you put it on a creature and in response they kill it, you get 2 for 1. Obviously, if this does go onto the creature, you're not going to get 2 for 1, but you're still going to get 1 for 1. You're still going to have spent an actual card. And this, of course, is the biggest thing. Spending cards in your deck is very expensive. Every single card is very, very expensive. You only have 23 in your deck. And putting this one in is not good enough. Because if you're going to put this on your bomb in order to keep your bomb alive, what happens if you don't draw your bomb? And then you have this, and you put it on a Bulwark Giant or something. Well, it's not going to be very good. Never play this card. Never pick this card. Not good. Up next is Return to Nature, my preview card. One of my preview cards from last set. 1 and a green for an instant. Choose 1. Destroy target artifact, destroy target enchantment, or exile target card from a graveyard. It's sideboard only. There's nothing in this set that you mainboard this in. There are some enchantments that are annoying. There are some artifacts that are annoying, but they are typically rare, and you're just not guaranteed to see them. So keep this in the sideboard and only side it in if there's something that is actually problematic. Otherwise, it is not main deckable and never pickable. Up next is Thundering Ceratok. Thundering Ceratok is 4 and a green for a creature Rhino. It's a 4/5 with trample. When it ETBs, all of your creatures get trample until the end of turn. It's fine. It's Like Invading Mantico, big and dumb, and the trample part sometimes matters. I've had it matter once or twice, but not often. This is just a big dumb creature, which is fine. Green decks are happy with it, but again, like the Manticore, you can get this way later than this pick, so we're not taking it. Up next is Nahiri's Stoneblades. Nahiri's Stoneblades is 1 and a red for an instant. Up to 2 target creatures each get +2/+0 until end of turn. It's Trumpet Blast, except for 2 creatures, which isn't great. Yeah, I've never seen this card be cast, I don't think. It's just not good. It's so low impact. The scenarios where it's actually really useful are very narrow because it doesn't pump toughness, which means it's not the best defensive trick. Your creature's still going to die most likely. But yeah, Nahiri's Stoneblade, never a first pick and never really a play either. Tamiyo's Epiphany, I guess, is our first pick at the moment. This is a good card. 3 and a blue for a sorcery. Scry 4, then draw 2. This is just great. The format is a little bit slow. There is some aggro. If you want to steal some wins, build a low-curve red-black sack aggro deck and you'll win. But generally, the format is pretty slow, which means a 4-drop that draws you 2 is pretty darn good, especially because if you find a pocket of lands, they all go to the bottom. And then kind of, you drew 6, sort of, in a way of speaking. This card's just really good. I guess I'd happily, I wouldn't happily first pick it, but I guess I'd first pick it so far out of this pack. We'll have to see what the uncommons bring us. Our final common, so that's 10 commons, no foil this pack, is Bane Hound. Bane Hound is a single black mana for a creature, Nightmare Hound. It's a 1/1 with lifelink and haste. It's not good. It's super bad. 1/1s for 1 typically are not very good. They need very impactful something going on with them, and lifelink is not super impactful, nor is haste. This card is awful. You should never play it. Our uncommon is probably going to pitch Tamiyo's Epiphany out of the picture here. 1 black-green for Death Sprout. Don't know if I said the title there. Is an instant at uncommon. Destroy target creature. Search your library for a basic land card. Put it onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle your library. It's 4 mana unconditional removal at instant speed. That's great. It is a black card. It's also a green card, but you must be black to play this card. You're not splashing this in your green-blue deck, for example. So it's a rough first pick because you do, I think, want to stay open, assuming you don't get, a Stone Cold Bomb followed by a Stone Cold Bomb in your first couple of picks. You want to stay open, and Death Sprout does not keep you open. Still, I think it's in conversation for the first pick at the moment. Gideon's Triumph is up next. Gideon's Triumph is 1 and a white for an instant at uncommon. Target opponent sacrifices a creature that attacked or blocked this turn. If you control a Gideon, you probably won't. That player sacrifices 2 creatures instead. This is fine. It's obviously the least good removal because it's not targeted. Your opponent gets to choose, but attacked or blocked is typically going to be a very small number, and in fact, you can even potentially kill the crappiest creatures during that combat, and then afterwards cast this to clean up whatever was left. But it's not great, and I don't think it's better than Death Sprout or Epiphany, so I'm not going to keep it in the picture here. Some super weak packs, I might first pick it, but this is not weak enough, I don't think, so we're not going to keep this in frame. Our uncommon Planeswalker, so we're not going to get a rare Planeswalker, is Jaya, Venerated Fire Mage. 4 and a red for a legendary Planeswalker, Jaya. She starts with 5 loyalty. Her static ability, if another red source you control would deal damage to a permanent or player, it deals that much damage +1 to that permanent or player instead. -2, Jaya deals 2 damage to any target you want. Jaya is great. Jaya is absolutely fantastic. I would happily first pick her in several packs. I would say she's ever so slightly expensive, but she's such good value. I don't think she could ever be less than 5 mana. And I think she would be the first pick here. So I think I am taking Jaya over the Epiphany and the Death Sprout. The rare, does it have anything to say about it? Probably not. We also got a land and a token here. The rare is Bolas's Citadel. 3 black for a legendary artifact at rare. You may look at the top card of your library at any time. You may play the top card of your library. If you cast a spell this way, pay life equal to the CMC instead of the mana cost. Tap it, sacrifice 10 non-land permanents. Each opponent loses 10 life. I have played this once, and it was fun. I, in fact, cast Bolas off the top, along with a Kefnet, and an Eternal Skylord, and a Totally Lost, I believe. My opponent conceded. So yes, it can be a very good card, but it's super hard to cast, and it's super hard to just guarantee that you're going to have a high life total. It's the same reason I would never play Command the Dreadhorde. I know some people play this, and you know what? If I'm trying to have fun, sure, I'll take the Bolas's Citadel and see what I can do. But I think in a real serious draft, I think I'm taking Jaya. Yeah, I'm going to say that I'm taking Jaya. Tamiyo's Epiphany was there. I think I want to stay open, so I'm not going to take the Death Sprout. Let me know what you have taken in the comments down below. Would you have taken the Bolas's Citadel, the Jaya, the Tamiyo's Epiphany, the Death Sprout, or something else? As always, if you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, you can find me over on Twitter, Facebook, and Twitch. You can find me at patreon.com/ManaLeek, where if you are a $5 backer or above, you get a chance to get all the cards out of this pack like Tom does this week. And if you want to go over to Inked Gaming, you can use the promo code ManaLeek10, all one word, 10 is the number, to get 10% off your order, get a playmat like this fancy one here. And yeah, if you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, let me know. Otherwise, I'll see y'all next time.